So Star Wars Andor has been a bit of a controversial show. Like, some people love it, some people hate it, some people are just indifferent about it. I mean, personally, what I think is that it's kind of a bit of both. It was a massive letdown to what I was expecting, but it was still pretty good in its own right. I mean, some people are hailing it as the best show ever, as a more gritty take on Star Wars, even though I don't think that's really true. I think it's just like every other Star Wars series. Now, the main criticism I have about it is that it's like 3 different shows in one. It's trying to be like Succession or Game of Thrones, whilst trying to be like The Mandalorian or even like Rogue One at the same time. But so yeah, it's kind of a bit weird in that regard, since there's just random plot points that are just kind of left undone, and ones that don't really make sense, and lots of overlapping plot points and stuff. Now, another criticism I have about the show is that it has now it's got its moments, like it's got a lot of moments, but it's like in between lots of talking. I mean, like there's 4 main events throughout the show, but there's like 11 episodes. And so you have like 2 episodes of just random talking and nothing really happening. And so then it just becomes kinda boring to wait until you get until the next big plot point or action that is taken. Now, Andor as a character, I think, is alright. Like, his acting's not that great, but it's passable. As a character, he's alright, especially later on in the show, but not really that early on. He's more just driven around by the plot and doesn't seem to have a clear thing towards whether he's like a good, just average guy and a killer, which he is in both which he is both in the first episode. Another on the good things now, a lot of the moments that the show has are really good. Like, for instance, the entire last episode with like Andor's mother's speech, and then rebelling against the Empire, and then like the kid throwing the bomb and all of that. It's actually really good. And like the prison break sequence, and then like especially the eye sequence, because the eye looks really beautiful, and then you actually and then the characters actually fly up in there, and then they have like a dog fight up there with the spaceships. It's actually really cool. The only fight scene that I don't really like is like kind of in the middle of the series. One of the characters is kind of just entering a planet in a spaceship, and then a Star Destroyer like comes along and is like, you're in like a pirate area, and then they have like a little bit of a dog fight, and it's a cool enough sequence. It's a really nice spaceship fight, especially with Darth Maul's lightsaber basically as a spaceship, which is cool. And then like the other stuff. It's just a really cool sequence, but the problem is that it doesn't really do anything for the plot. It just kind of happens. There's nothing provoking it. It's just the characters doing something normal, and the fight scene happens, and it's never brought up again. And by the end of the series, it's like it's never happened. So, but, apart from that, the show's like alright. The music's pretty good. I don't get how people were calling it like a really gritty noir version of Star Wars, like The Mandalorian's more like that. Now, overall, does it worth being existing? Yeah, it does. I mean, it's good to have some background to the character of Andor and how he met the robot from Rogue One. And it's also anything to do with Rogue One is good because Rogue One's like probably the best recent Star Wars movie. It's like a masterpiece pretty much. And if you want me to, I will review Rogue One at some point, but you know. Now, as a show overall, how would I rate it? Now, obviously, season 2 is coming in like 2024. It's just recently started filming, and I'll do a review on that. But as for season 1, I'll give it like a 7 out of 10 just because of like all the boring talking and stuff. I know some people like that part of the show, but I personally didn't. And then like the end is pretty alright, but it's the moments would compel me to give it an 8 out of 10, or sorry, an 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, pretty alright show overall. It's got its moments, but it's just a lot of random talking and stuff in between then. There's not much else to the show. Pretty overrated, but also pretty underrated at the same time. Anyway, I'll see you later, and bye.